Welcome back, my friends, to your recaps. The movie begins with two school buses driving together on the road, filled with students heading for a school trip. The students were cheerful, joking, and playfully hitting each other with pillows. The weather was sunny and calm, but a girl named Mitsuko was busy writing a poem. Two girls mocked her for writing instead of playing and enjoying the trip. They snatched her notebook, causing her pen to fall. As Mitsuko bent down to pick it up, a sudden storm struck the buses, splitting them in half and decapitating the student. Mitsuko was the sole survivor because she was bent down. When she got up, she saw the bus without a roof and her friends' bodies severed in half. Shocked by the scene, another storm approached moments later. Mitsuko sensed it in time, bent down, and managed to survive again. The storm cut through electrical poles, and when the bus stopped, she got off and ran down the road. As she ran, she saw the bodies of her classmates from the other bus scattered on the ground, all torn apart. She kept running, screaming and looking back, feeling the storm approaching again. Suddenly, she saw four girls walking ahead. She grabbed one of them and pulled her to the ground, saving her life while the other three were killed by the storm. Shortly after, the girl Mitsuko saved died trying to help a group of boys on bicycles. Mitsuko was left alone again and kept running as fast as she could until she reached a river. There, she found the corpses of other students in the water. She washed her face with the river water and changed her blood-stained clothes into cleaner ones. She wandered aimlessly down the road. After hours of walking, she arrived at a girls' school. There, she met a girl named Aki, who welcomed her and invited her inside. Mitsuko was surprised to find herself in the same school as Aki, who reassured her by saying they had always been classmates. While Mitsuko was talking to her, she suddenly felt the wind passing by and quickly ducked, fearing another storm. But this time, the wind was normal and caused no harm. Aki told Mitsuko, "You seem different today," and then took her for a walk around the school. Mitsuko felt confused and couldn't understand what was happening, finding no explanation for what she had experienced. While they walked, another gust of wind passed, making Mitsuko panic and run away. Aki ran after her, trying to calm her down, saying, "There's nothing to worry about." Mitsuko calmed down a bit and discovered that the teachers also knew her and treated her as a regular student at the school. When Mitsuko and Aki were alone, Mitsuko asked, "Am I really a student here?" Aki replied, "Of course you are." Mitsuko began to think that what she had seen in the morning was just a dream or a hallucination. She started recounting to Aki the events and the wind that killed her classmate. While talking, Mitsuko struggled to breathe due to the shock. So Aki opened the window and showed her that the wind outside was normal and harmless. Aki asked her to extend her hand to feel it, and Mitsuko calmed down when she realized it was just regular wind. The two looked at each other and laughed at how strange their actions were. Aki said, "Maybe you're experiencing temporary memory loss, which is why you don't remember that this is your school." Later, they joined their classmates, laughing and joking, and decided to skip the rest of the lessons and head to the forest. Mitsuko was incredibly happy, the complete opposite of how she felt earlier, and began to consider what she saw in the morning as just a dream, eventually forgetting about it entirely. When they reached the lake, they took a break, and Aki told the others about Mitsuko's dream, in which deadly winds killed her classmates. However, their friend Reem interrupted, saying, "Maybe it really happened. Mitsuko could have been in a parallel world. I read that there are many parallel universes." The others didn't take Reem's words seriously and thought she was joking. While they were laughing, they noticed a pillow on the ground, picked it up and started playing with it. Mitsuko noticed two girls standing nearby, looked at them, and smiled. Strangely, the two girls Mitsuko saw suddenly disappeared. Afterward, Rin told Mitsuko, "If you want to change reality, you have to do something unexpected and out of the ordinary." Mitsuko deeply pondered her words, and then she and Aki decided to return to the school. When they entered the classroom, Mitsuko noticed a pillow on the floor. She picked it up and threw it at Aki. Suddenly, the teacher attacked the class, firing a machine gun and killing all the girls, including Aki. Mitsuko was the only one who survived. The teacher shouted, "This is the punishment for girls who skip class!" She was about to kill Mitsuko when two mysterious girls appeared, grabbed Mitsuko, and helped her escape. The girls fled with Mitsuko, passing by another classroom where all the students had been killed. They kept running, but one of the students tried to fight back and resist the teachers, only to be killed. Rin then took Mitsuko to escape, but she was shot and fatally wounded. Before dying, she said something cryptic to Mitsuko. Mitsuko continued running with the remaining surviving students. The teachers ruthlessly killed any girl who skipped classes. Eventually, only 5 girls managed to escape the school. One of them told Mitsuko, "You need to think and do something. This is all up to you." Mitsuko didn't understand what the girl meant. Suddenly, the wind came again and killed all the girls except Mitsuko, leaving her alone once more. The wind started chasing her, and she ran a long distance until she reached the city. She kept running through the streets, noticing that everyone around her was a woman. She stopped when she saw a police station and went inside. There, she met a policewoman who assumed Mitsuko was crazy because she wouldn't talk or explain why she was crying. Barely catching her breath, Mitsuko pointed in the direction of the wind. To her shock, the policewoman called her by the name Keiko and asked, "Why are you wearing a school uniform?" Mitsuko's confusion deepened when she looked in the mirror and saw a reflection that looked completely different from her real appearance. Things become clearer when it's revealed that the policewoman, named Tomo, is Keiko's friend. Tomo tells her, "You should be happy. Your wedding is in just a few hours." But Mitsuko was completely shocked, unable to think, and overwhelmed by the situation. She lets Tomo handle everything, and Tomo takes her to a car that will drive her to the church for the wedding. During the journey, Mitsuko experiences very strange events. Even stranger, the girls in the car talk to her as if she is a celebrity, expressing their joy that Keiko is getting married soon. When the car arrives at the church, a large crowd of women gathers around to congratulate her, adding to her confusion. When she entered a room to change her clothes, Mitsuko was stunned to see Aki there. She couldn't believe her eyes and asked in a trembling voice, "What's going on here?" Aki responded quietly, "I know what you're thinking, but calm down and lower your voice. I'll explain everything later." Outside the room, the girls were chatting about how handsome and charming the groom was. Then, they brought her a wedding dress. Aki asked everyone to leave the room, saying that Keiko was still nervous and needed some time. When they were alone, Aki called Mitsuko by her real name and told her, "You need to do exactly as I say and stay calm. I can't explain everything now because they're watching us." Mitsuko trusted Aki and let her take control. She put on the wedding dress, and once she was ready, a group of girls came to escort Keiko to the church. However, Aki attacked and killed them all, saying she needed to teach Keiko how to fight. She handed Mitsuko a broken bottle and told her to use it against anyone who made her uncomfortable or uneasy. Keiko then moved toward the groom, holding the broken bottle instead of the traditional bouquet. When she reached the church, all the guests were women who clapped enthusiastically and showed their love for Keiko. The ultimate shock came at the end of the ceremony when it was revealed that Keiko's groom was lying inside a closed coffin. Suddenly, the guests began acting strangely, mocking Keiko and pushing her toward the coffin. When the coffin was opened, it revealed that her groom's face was that of a pig. The guests wanted her to kiss him, but she grabbed the broken bottle and stabbed him, then went on to kill some of the girls. At that moment, Aki appeared and threatened everyone. Shortly afterward, the two teachers from the school showed up. Keiko and Aki fought them together and managed to defeat them. They escaped the church, with Aki distracting the teachers so Keiko could run away. During her escape, Keiko encountered a girl dressed in athletic clothes. The girl called her by a new name, Ayumi, and urged her to join the marathon. Keiko looked at her reflection in a mirror and was shocked to see she had transformed into a completely new person. Her new name was Izumi, and she was now wearing athletic gear. Izumi found herself as a famous marathon runner. loved by everyone, with a huge crowd cheering for her. She started running with other competitors, hearing them talk about how fast she had been since her school days. Izumi didn't understand what they meant, but she avoided asking questions, preferring not to delve into it. As she ran, she recalled her childhood when she used to run tirelessly. She decided to enjoy the moment and kept running. Suddenly, she saw her school friends running alongside her. However, the pig-faced figure and the teachers appeared, chasing them down. The girls urged Izumi to be brave, saying, "You're the only one who can escape this world." Izumi decided to leave the track and sprinted with all her might, eventually reaching a dark cave. Inside the cave, she met a strange girl who led her to a group of girls resembling her. These girls looked eerie, their hair covering their faces. One of them said, "If you don't die, we'll all die." The girl tried to kill Izumi, but Aki arrived just in time to save her. Aki instructed Izumi to repeat one phrase over and over, "I am Mitsuko." Izumi followed her instruction, chanting the phrase repeatedly. Eventually, she transformed back into her original form and realized she was Mitsuko once again. Mitsuko asks Aki to explain everything to her. Aki says, "We are now in an unreal world, full of illusions, and you are the main character here. To escape from this world, you need to pull the wires tied to your wrists and kill me. This way I will die, but you will be freed and will reach the control center." Mitsuko hesitates at first and refuses because she doesn't want to hurt her friend, but Aki slaps her to force her to agree. Mitsuko is compelled to do so, pulls the wires, and as a result, Aki is split into two halves. However, Mitsuko is finally freed and finds herself in the real world inside a restaurant. Mitsuko walks around and notices a man in front of her, and as she continues walking, she sees a poster on the wall featuring her image along with Keiko and Izumi. It turns out that this is a game poster, and the three characters, Mitsuko, Keiko, and Izumi, are the main characters in the game. It is also revealed that Mitsuko is now in a savage city, dominated by men, where only men live, and they enjoy violent survival games. The game featuring these characters is called Taj, and the playable characters are Mitsuko, Keiko, and Izumi. A man approaches Mitsuko and tells her that he knows her, saying, "You are now in the future." Mitsuko is shocked and loses consciousness. When she wakes up, she finds herself in a cave, similar to the one in the game world. In this cave, all the characters from the game are displayed as mummified figures. As she wanders through the cave, she sees an elderly man playing the Taj game using Mitsuko's character. The man tells her, "You are now 15 years into the future. When you were in high school, I was in love with you, but after you were killed, I took your DNA and the DNA of your friends and created 3D replicas of you all." Mitsuko comes to terms with what happened and discovers a version of herself and a copy of her friend Aki. The old man says to her, "I created these copies to place them in my game." Then, a young man appears and asks Mitsuko to join him on the bed. The old man passes, and Mitsuko follows his instructions going toward him, but he is about to touch her. In that moment, Mitsuko recalls what Reem had told her. Do something unconventional to break free from the illusion you're trapped in. Mitsuko takes Reem's advice and steps away from the man, shouting at him to stop treating the girls as if they are mere toys in his hands. She grabs a pillow and strikes him with it, causing the feathers to turn red. Then, she pulls the old man's cane and kills herself. The old man is shocked and screams because Mitsuko's death will ruin the game. Indeed, the three characters in the game die. In the end, Mitsuko finds herself in the real world, finally free. Please, if you like my content, support me with a like and subscribe to the channel. Have a nice day, my friend.